Okay, so you've been thinking about moving to Bozeman. You love the idea of Montana. Well, I have put together 6 things you'll want to know before you think of moving to Bozeman, Montana. Here we go. Hi, I'm Paige Huyette, real estate broker with Montana Good Life Properties and eXp Realty. I'm ready to tell you everything you need to know to live and work and play here in Bozeman, Montana. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can watch all of the videos about Bozeman and Montana that I share with you. We are getting calls every day from people asking about moving here, and they always have different questions. So hopefully this will answer some of your questions if you're thinking about moving to Bozeman or anywhere in Montana. So I wrote down 6 things you may not have thought of if you are considering a move to Montana. I moved here about 14 years ago and have seen a lot of changes. So let's go. Number 6, no snow days. If you're from the East Coast or the Midwest or Canada, you have snow days. Even the West Coast has snow days because the infrastructure isn't prepared for even a tiny bit of snow on those roads. When we first moved here and the snow started to fall right around Halloween, that was one of my first questions. Are there even snow days in Bozeman? No, not really, was the answer. There has been one day since I've lived here for the past 14 days that the Bozeman schools started a few hours late. They didn't even close. So it's really true. No snow days, no school cancellations. Number 5, there are different weather types and different amounts of snow in different areas of Bozeman. We're only about 50,000 people, so relatively small compared to where a lot of other people are moving from. It's not a super big area, but some spots have tons of snow. Other areas will just get a dusting right at the same time. There's way more snow in South and East Bozeman than to the west of town and the north areas, such as Spring Hill. Remember, we are in a valley, so depending on where you are and which way the wind's blowing and where the storms are coming through, you could see a foot of accumulation of snow in one area and just a couple of inches just a few miles away. If you're buying in one of the canyon areas, like Bear Canyon or up in Jackson Creek, Bridger Canyon, Trail Creek, they all have different levels of sun exposure depending on where the property is located. So you'll want to pay attention to this, since some locations are steeper and have more shade and less sun exposure when the sun is lower in the winter. Now, number 4, snow sports and our long winters. So Bozeman winters are notorious for being very long, and they are. Anyone that tells you differently doesn't live here or hasn't been through a few of them. So we've got lots of snow sports. The winters are long here. So the key tip is to get outside and don't try to wait out the winter. It will win. There's a public ice skating rink at the fairgrounds. Several parks in town, downtown Bozeman, are flooded for free ice skating in the winter. We have groomed cross-country trails, snowshoeing, ice fishing, and of course the biggies, skiing at Bridger Bowl and Big Sky. So the next one, downtown Main Street. This is a real deal, not a Disney-style Main Street. There are coffee, ice cream shops, restaurants, and our beloved country bookshelf, of course. It's truly the hub of downtown Bozeman, and there's always something going on here. In summer, we have art walks downtown, music on Main where they shut down Main Street and everyone dances like crazy. Sweet Pea Festival happens as downtown and next to downtown in August. So if you're the kind of person that craves mega malls and having lots of chain stores at your fingertips, this probably isn't the place for you. Traffic. We don't have a lot of it. It can take roughly 15 minutes to get across town, depending on weather and where you're coming from. Remember, like I said, there's more snow in South and East Bozeman, so you might need a little bit of extra time depending on whether or not you live in a rural area or have to plow yourself out of your driveway. Be sure if you're moving here to have four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And my tip is studded tires in the winter, especially if you're going skiing or heading out to play in the wilderness. They will get you anywhere you want to go, more or less. Summer here is always roadwork time, since that's the only time they have to do it. And there are apps that you can check for updates of road closures. We do have a lot of tourist traffic in the summer and pretty much year-round construction traffic in Gallatin Canyon going up to Big Sky. So you'll want to plan around that if you're planning on going up there for some hiking, fishing, mountain biking. The airport. we have Bozeman International Airport, which has completed several expansion projects over the last several years, but it's still a relatively small, very comfortable, very inviting place to land. So it's easy for friends and family to visit you, which they definitely will, usually during the summer. We aren't a hub, so you'll normally have to fly through either Salt Lake, Minneapolis, or Seattle, depending on where you're headed, which direction you're going. So air travel can take a little bit longer than flying direct, but you will always, I guarantee, breathe a sigh of relief when you land at the Bozeman Airport that still has a really relaxed small town feel. If you're looking for small town living, but you're not quite sure what it feels like to live in somewhere like Bozeman, choose an agent like me that's lived here, that's moved here from somewhere else, that works with people who are relocating, and really understands the innuendos of what it means to live here year round. If I don't have an answer to something, I can find someone who will. I also have mad negotiating skills. I pride myself on helping buyers get what they want, but making sure everyone feels like they're winning in the negotiations. I have relationships with local agents, and I know how real estate works here in Montana. It's different from other places. It's important that you choose wisely before you jump in. And if you'd like my help finding the perfect spot that works for you, give me a call.